ladies and gentlemen, or whatever time of day it is where you're at. My name is Hartley Plushaw. I live here at 57 Groton Street, Pepperell, Massachusetts. That's a sort of semi-rural community about 40 miles northwest of Boston. This is my automobile. As you can see, it's a minivan. Anyone who knows anything about me knows that I've primarily driven minivans most of my driving life, ever since they invented the minivan, which was sort of like the early 80s, I believe. Unfortunately, I never quite get into anything hipper or cooler. I keep frequently being mistaken when I drive for a soccer mom, but I just found this is a nice, good, practical, aerodynamically sound automobile. So anyway, has a few dents in it and so forth, but it gets me from point A to point B, so that's the important thing. Anyway, I take it you're here to see my house. Well, letting me show it to you. Let me show you the insides. Actually, it's not my house. It's not even my apartment. It's where I live. I rent it from the landlord, who, as it happens to live upstairs from where I live. Anyway, this is it. If you care to follow me. As you can see, it's not terribly impressive, but inside it's plenty of room. Come on in. This is what I laughingly call my living room. Some people get addicted to drugs, some people get addicted to food. I am partially on that score. Some people get addicted to, I don't know, cigarettes or whatever it is they get addicted to. At an early age, I got addicted to reading. I get addicted to reading materials, books, magazines, newspapers. And I've never quite been able to shake that addiction. I like to read things. I like to buy things to read things. I like to buy books, magazines, and newspapers. My friend, a good friend of mine, got me my first computer lesson a few years ago, so I can't say that I'm unfamiliar with the internet. It has caused me to behave a little more civilized in that regard over the past few years. But as you can see from my living room, I'm a person who just doesn't like to throw stuff away. I'm always afraid that if I throw a book away or a magazine or a newspaper, I'll throw away the meaning to life. And as a result, as you can plainly see, I have here probably the equivalent of several forests in Oregon. I'm sure many, many trees gave their lives so that I could clutter this apartment the way I have. I also seem to have an affinity for these boxes here. These boxes that copying paper primarily are packed in. I have a standard agreement wherever I work that if any of the janitors or custodians want to throw these things out, that they give them to me first. I have first dibs on them. And so what I like to do is I like to store things in the anticipation that I will move them out and move them to a different location, or God forbid, throw stuff away. But I sort of get going on that, and then something comes up. I get new hours on the job. I get new commitments from my family. I have to do this, I have to do that, etc., etc. And so I kind of let things go. I mean, I always try every new year, I have the new resolution. I always try to think to myself, okay, this is the year. I clean everything out, I scrub everything up, I vacuum, I do this, I do that. And then, you know, a couple of hours later, the urge passes and I'm back to my old self. So this will require a great deal of renovation, a great deal of trepidation. I'm not quite sure how I would do it alone, but if I had some help, I just might be able to clean this place up and make it look fairly decent. There's nothing wrong with the size of this place. There's plenty of room in here. But I guess I'm a very natural person, and that nature abhors a vacuum. So if I see an empty space, I immediately think of ways to clutter it up. It's just this gift I have. Some people have a gift, some don't. That's my gift. Oh, you may have noticed this stuff here. These various tubs and steamer trunks and whatever they are, believe it or not, they don't belong to me. Not enough that I've cluttered up my own apartment. I take in other people's clutter. You know, that's how generous I am. or how psychotic, depending on how you want to interpret it. So, as you can see, my addiction knows no rational or sane boundaries. One of these days, this will go out and the other stuff will go out, but in the meantime, I guess you could say that I'm kind of like my apartment is kind of like a library that's become incontinent. You know, a library that vomited, I once described to someone. So, anyway, this is my living room, which, of course, in terms of both living here and in terms of the room, there ain't much. As you can see, as the camera pans, you can probably see a lot of stuff that doesn't look particularly relevant. Let me show you a couple of other things here. I was once invited to a Harry Potter book publishing party, and I got my own wizard hat. Yeah, right, wizard. Purely in the sarcastic sense. And someone gave me this. I don't know if it's the Burger King crown or what, but I don't know. You know, I took it one day and I decided, why not? Okay? But I'll show you the hat I'm most proud of. I never wear it, but it's something that I think everyone should have as kind of a, I don't know, symbol. My top hat. I'm not much for formally doing anything, as you can probably tell, but this thing has always been a great comfort to me, even though I rarely, if ever, wear it. Anyway, there it is. Very elegant, very Victorian. It's my one concession to style, as it were. What else can I show you? Not much else. As you can see, I love cardboard for reasons I don't quite understand. Cardboard, of course, is what I pack a lot of this stuff in. A lot of the stuff that doesn't get thrown out and doesn't get moved, which is to say most of it. I will say that I don't want to say proud of my reading, but I do like to read a lot of things about a lot of diverse topics. This book here, The More You Watch, The Less You Know, is written by a friend of mine, Danny Schechter, the journalist. I interviewed him on a radio show I host not too long ago. Very interesting man, very brilliant man, very provocative book. I would recommend it. This book here, I don't know about that one. Stand Up, Fight Back by E.J. Dionne. E.J. Dionne is one of America's most famous and acclaimed political writers. I met him back in 1978. He and I actually worked in a political campaign together. I doubt if he remembers me, but I followed his career through the years, and this is one of his books. What else have we got here? Oh, you'll like this, if you're a certain age. Long Time Gone by David Crosby, the Crosby of Crosby, Stills and Nash. But I have even more interesting stuff to show you here. I have here the autographs of Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I think this is Stephen Stills. I think this is Graham Nash. Where's David Crosby? There we go. To Hartley, Long Time Gone from David Crosby. So, not only do I have a book about Crosby, Stills, and Nash, I have the autographs of Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Now, I'm not an autograph hound, and I'm not a celebrity worshiper, but, of course, people of my age, my advancing age as I head into early senility, along with so many other members of my generation, those names mean something to me. They're sort of like, to my generation, what, I don't know, Snoop Dogg or P. Diddy is to yours, to draw a rather crude analogy. So, I have that. I have, actually, I like to think I'm diverse in my reading. Here's Pat Buchanan's book, Where the Right Went Wrong. I mean, you go from Danny Schechter to Pat Buchanan. That's a pretty wide spectrum of political thought. Howard Zinn, back on the left again. Okay, so you can't accuse me of being politically correct. I like to sort of skip around to various beliefs, various people, various opinions. Oh yes, this is an interesting book. The 70s by Bruce Schulman. I actually interviewed the author of this book, Bruce Schulman, for a TV show I did a couple of years back. Very interesting book. As you can see, there's Nixon and Elvis on the cover. I mean, doesn't that say it all? Nixon and Elvis? The 70s right there. Oh, well, since I'm making reference to my career here, let me kind of give you a little background on that. For the past 25 some odd years, I've worked on and off in radio and television, local cable television. Actually, as of this moment, I'm working 2 jobs. I'm literally between jobs right now. I do morning radio for a radio station in Lowell, Massachusetts, morning news. And later on today, I'll be heading back to my other job at local cable television. I'm a public access TV coordinator in Townsend and Ashby, Massachusetts. So you might say that I'm kind of busy right now. In fact, if it looks like I have about 3 hours sleep last night, well, it's because I do have about 3 hours sleep last night, and probably could stand a lot more. So anyway, this gives you a taste of who I am, what I'm interested in. It certainly gives you a strong taste of my lack of an aesthetic. I mean, just look at me. Polo shirt, faded jeans, bad haircut, various other attributes or lack thereof in terms of my fashion style and so forth. So anyway, I could stand a lot of work. I'll admit that, on all levels, both the personal and the whatever you want to call it, the outer me, as it were, as reflected in my living room. So why don't we move on from here into, oh, this will be a lot of fun, the kitchen. Yes, the kitchen. As you can see, I have a very spacious kitchen, and I really should be more grateful for it than I am. A lot of room to move around in and to do various things in. As you can see, it also doubles as my computer room. So it kind of works out okay. Nice computer table there, a nice chair, and I've got my kitchen table here. I've got my dishwasher, which, as you can see, is sort of an exo dishwasher. It's not part of my kitchen, but it certainly is used often enough. But let me give you a good example of my domestic prowess. This is my stove. I've lived in this apartment now for 6 years. I have yet to use the stove. The dust on this stove is so thick that I'm afraid to turn any of these jets on. Because if I do, I think I'll start a spontaneous fire. Yes, get real close in there and you will see how delinquent, how disgusting I am in terms of my failure to clean even the most basic stuff. But that's only the beginning, friend. Take a look at this over here, behind the dishwasher. Look at that, I don't know what, fungus, mildew, mold. I think I'm breeding new species of life in here and don't even realize it. I think this is like a petri dish for some kind of experiment to find out how long a particular thing can go without being clean and so forth. I don't even want to think about the bacteria, about the fungus, the mildew, whatever. It is really bad in here. In fact, the stuff is actually literally growing on the walls. That's how terrible I am. As you can see, like everything else, I use the dishwasher as sort of like a library thing to stack books and magazines and newspaper articles on. Again, some of these I haven't even touched for like 10 years. I wouldn't even know what's on them. So my disgrace is total. I mean, it isn't just that I ruin one room, I ruin several. And I don't know if you can even show this, but the floor, the walls, the dust, the dirt, the mildew, the fungus, oh God. And of course, I'm the one who has to live with it, so I should be more disgusted than I am. Oh, the dishwasher. Oh, not the dishwasher. The refrigerator. Well, this gives you some indication of my culinary tastes, such as they are. I think you've pretty much figured out by now that I don't cook. I can't cook. Other than the George Foreman grill and my corn popper, that's about the extent of what I'm capable of in terms of generating my own food. As you can see from what I just showed you on the oven or the stove, I literally don't touch that. I mean, it's not a joke with me. I just don't use it. And this, of course, accounts for a lot of things. It accounts for, among other things, my overweight condition. I think I'm about 30 to 40 pounds overweight. Not that I want to be that overweight. I don't sit around eating bonbons every day. It's just that I don't know how to cook, and so I have to go out and I use fast food and so forth. Oh yes, the cabinets. Yeah, a lot of space in here, but as you can see, I cluttered them all up. Here I've got my basic stuff, my hold that there, if you can stay open for a couple of seconds. Hell, anyway, I'll keep pushing it back. My plates, my dishes, my glasses. I use a lot of plastic stuff that I can throw out when I'm done. I mean, again, that tells you about the kind of guy I am. This middle aisle here is, well, what it is. I've got fruit cocktails. I've got beans, green beans. I've got here's some real evidence of my culinary tastes. Aerosol cheese. I mean, you don't get more, degenerate than that. Honey, I'm just about done at the bottom of my honey jar here, or whatever it is. I use that instead of white sugar. Okay, occasionally I try to do the right thing. This is a little interesting trinket. This is a Fox News Channel coffee mug. Again, I like to think of myself as being politically diverse. I don't even know how I got this, but as you can see, it is an authentic We Report, You Decide, Fox News Channel coffee mug. So, Mr. Murdoch, if you're watching, anyway, what else we got in here? We got a box of Christmas cookies, which I ate about 3 years ago, but I can't bring myself to throw out the box. I've got English tea time tea, which is nice and tasty, but I won't be drinking that much because summer has just started in a big way in New England, and I'm not interested in too much hot stuff. And up top here, oh God, you want to think about it. Yeah, this is interesting. This is stuff that's been up here so long it's starting to stick together. Chicken bouillon. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what's he doing with chicken bouillon? Well, a few years ago, I had to undergo, well, my doctor recommended that I undergo a certain internal procedure. I won't go into the details, but it's one that Katie Couric popularized a few years ago. And as part of that procedure, it required that I spend several weeks not eating any solid food and only what they called clear liquids. So I drank Gatorade for 3 weeks, and this was as close as I got to real food. And God knows why I haven't thrown them away yet, because it kind of reminds me of that whole experience, which if you have ever had that kind of experience, is not much fun. Anyway, I won't say anything more than that. And the rest of this stuff here is what it is. Ritz crackers. How can I ever speak about myself and not mention Ritz crackers? I mean, this is the instant food. This is survival food. Remember back, if you're old enough, you remember about 60 years ago when the Cold War started and people were building fallout shelters in their backyards, and everyone was told to stock them with crackers because that was the one food that would survive a nuclear war. That and cockroaches. Well, I guess there was some logic in that, because when I come home late at night, when I'm half dead on my feet, I don't feel like even using the bloody microwave, nice as it is to have this. I just want to grab the Ritz crackers, throw some peanut butter on them, throw some aerosol cheese on them, and call that dinner. So, this is, again, all too indicative of my culinary tastes. And you can see the ketchup bottles, you can see the Orville Redenbacher popcorn. Through the years, I've conned myself into thinking that popcorn is actually health food. It probably is to an extent, but after you put all the butter and salt on it that I put on it, it's probably a health hazard, but I don't much care. Orville Redenbacher, God bless you, may you rest in peace wherever you may be. You are truly an American hero. The rest of this isn't really worth mentioning. Baggies, Saran wrap, Reynolds wrap. I don't know how often I use it. I just, have it there in case of emergencies. This thing in the corner here, I guess I could pass this off as being a modern art exhibit. Christmas wrapping, birthday wrapping, soda bottles that have yet to be returned to whatever it is, wherever it is I bought them from. Again, very indicative. A couple of brooms and mops, which go pathetically underused around here, as you could probably figure out. Again, very indicative of my style or lack thereof. And my cereal up here, Kellogg's Variety Pack. Corn Flakes, Frosted Flakes, shredded wheat, whatever it is they have, Special K. Again, very, very pedestrian tastes have I. And, well, that's about it for the kitchen. As you can see, even here, I've got boxes stacked up. Now, as we proceed, a warning, we're about to enter the bathroom. If you've seen anything so far that disgusts you, then I urge you to turn away. Do not watch what you are about to see, because this truly is the manifestation of how, well, whatever it is I am, is. I think you can tell probably more about a person by what their bathroom looks like than anything else, any other room or any part of their house, because it is in the bathroom where we let our inhibitions go, where we literally get naked, where we literally strip down to the bare essentials in the hope of getting clean, of course. Well, I have to say I do take a shower every morning. I get totally insane if I don't have at least one shower a day. I guess that's kind of my compensation for my filth in other areas. But anyway, come on in here and try to comprehend what you are about to see. As you can see, the fungus, the growths, the general vileness of this bathtub. Nothing wrong with the tub itself. It's what I do to it. I mean, I scrub the tub every so often, but as you can see, the growth, the life forms or whatever it is, are so inured inside the cracks and crevices of this structure that I don't even think any kind of scientific innovation would get rid of them. Here I have the usual stuff: my deodorant, my baby powder, my hairspray, whatever else I have. Losing battle, I know, keeping me neat. Now on the other side here, if you care to move around here and do kind of a U-turn, you can see the baseboard down here, and you can see just how incredibly vile this place is, how thick the dirt, the hair, the dust. In fact, it's almost like I've grown a second floor here. I'd have to bring people in here like people who rip up rugs. I'd have to bring in people here to rip up the dirt and the grime and the whole stuff that I've defiled this place with. Truly amazing, and I'm sure if I wanted to do something like that, I could never accomplish it. But I thought I'd let you guys see it because that's all part of the deal, as it were. Now, I'm not going to really get into too much about the bedroom. In fact, I prefer you didn't see too much of it for privacy reasons. But let's just say that it's what you would expect of a bedroom of someone like me. A lot of junk stuff, dirt, cobwebs. As you can see, I do have, the high-tech essentials: television, VCR, satellite dish, everything you might need. DVD player. You ain't seen it from here, but it's on the other side. Stacks and stacks and stacks of videotapes. I'm one of these people that doesn't throw tapes away either, along with papers. So anyway, let's just assume that my living room is every bit as depressing, shall we say, aesthetically depressing as you might imagine. I have the usual sorts of stuff here. I like to throw magazines and newspapers around here. I like to read stuff every so often. What have I got here? I've got Vanity Fair, Playboy. Wonder how that got in here. Anyway, but this is how I slumber, how I spend my time trying to recoup from the various days that I live in. I do try to make my bed or remake my bed at least once a week, so as not to have stuff growing in there that's been growing all over the rest of the house. So anyway, my bedroom. Oh, you want to see the Playboy thing again? Okay. Kiana Tom, yes, someone I admire greatly. This was the May 2002 edition. Okay, my bedroom. Now, I don't even know what to call this room except call it dangerous. This is my, well, what is it? Let me turn the light on and maybe you can see a little better. This is my, don't laugh when I say this, storage room. As if everything else in this bloody place is in the storage room. Stacks and stacks of boxes. Oh, my treadmill. Yes, I have to say, I have actually used this treadmill. I know it has dust all over it, but anyway, I have used this treadmill. It's a good treadmill. But as you can see, I've got so much junk in here I can't use it anymore because I'm starting to pile it on top of the treadmill. And so on and so forth. Tapes, boxes, tapes, more boxes, more books. Oh, you want literature, do you? Well, you've got a collection of essays from Gore Vidal, one of my favorite writers, Morley Safer, the guy from 60 Minutes. He wrote a memoir that I have in here. Again, I don't do anything neat. I just, you know, something I like, I grab it, I buy it. I don't shoplift. As you can see, all this stacks of videotapes, of books, of boxes, of junk. You know, I suppose 99.99% of this I could throw away and not miss it, but, well, I don't know. Again, I'm just so afraid I'm going to throw out the meaning of life that I'm reluctant to do it. I have kind of a dubbing setup here. Since I work in the video industry, I have a machine here. I can dub from... See, what I'm trying to do is get rid of some of this stuff, so I'm dubbing from videotapes to DVDs. It being a little bit more spacious when I do that. But anyway, still have a long way to go, and I still have a long, hard struggle before I can honestly say that I live in a truly civilized environment. Again, the fault is not in our stars or in my landlord, it's in myself. I am simply, well, a slob. As if you hadn't figured that out by now. Well, anyway, that's about it for my apartment. And I hope you're impressed in the sense of not being impressed. I hope I've made a good impression on you by making a bad impression on you. I hope that I'm sufficiently a slob and sufficiently slovenly and sufficiently unstylish to impress you guys. So, thanks for coming along. Thanks for taking a look at my mess here. And, well, have a nice day.